LA 2620484, office in Baton Rouge.
Marty and McGee.
Man, them booster racks were awesome, though. They had, like, Bo Jackson, with the baseball bat over his shoulder pads, right? And just looking jacked. And then it'd be Elle McPherson. Yeah. And then it'd be Cindy Crawford. Yeah. And then it would be like Nirvana.
Grateful Dead. Bunch of dancing bears. You're like, Jesus. Yeah, I should have never gone around behind the wall at Spencer's, Jesus. I apologize.
Marty and McGee, Saturday mornings at 6 on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Click through the static and listen to 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge in high definition. Simply tune to 98.1 and select HD2. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. WNXX Jackson, KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers. LA 21-12681. Offices in Baton Rouge. Now, the Hunt Palmer Show.
Yes! I feel like I've been waiting for this my entire life.
You're listening to the Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Jolly good fun. Jolly good.
Locking down the middle of the day.
America's favorite daytime fun show.
Live from the Raising Cane's studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Welcome in! Hunt Palmer coming to you from the Raising Cane studio downtown in the capital city on this Monday. It means we're brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Braxton Rizzuto, Cassie Spazzali back there on the ones and twos. Fired up you were here with us. Hope that work week's off to a good start. Let's get things rolling. We got a lot to do over the next couple of hours. It's a busy weekend. We'll talk about the College World Series. We'll talk about the NBA Finals as well. There's plenty elsewhere going on in the world of sports. I saw a Bleacher Report story, NFL offense's best and worst case scenarios. We'll talk about the New Orleans Saints in hour number 2. College World Series games coming up. One right now, an elimination game between Alabama and Texas. And then this evening, it'll be Georgia and Oklahoma. All SEC action from Charles Schwab Field. So we'll do a little bit of that. We've got some LSU football recruiting to get to in hour number 2 as well. And we'll talk about Clemson coming up in 15 minutes. I've got a series of stories coming up at LouisianaSports.net over the next 2 weeks. Just going 3 things on LSU's 12 football opponents. We'll go one team every single day until we've gone through them all. This is very much not meant to be an in-depth exercise. On June 15th is where we start it. Just a cursory, surface-level view at LSU's opponents. We start with the big opener in Clemson coming up 15 minutes from right now. We start things with LSU baseball. It's our opening drive.
Welcome to the big league.
It's time for Hunt's Opening Drive, presented by Fabry Chevrolet GMC in St. Francisville.
Early last week, I looked at LSU's roster and I went, okay, they've got some really interesting pieces here. I really like what they've done in the transfer portal early with getting Dawson Park and Landon Hood. They had to go get a big-time pitcher. They did. They needed to get athletic in the infield. They did. And then Stephen Milam announces he's coming back, and that's awesome. But I'm looking at this going, there needs to be some left-handed juice to this lineup because on the right side, you've got Aaron Beatty and you've got Cerna, and you figure those guys are really going to hit with some pop from the right side. Braun may grow into that. He was an on-base machine as a freshman. He profiles with some significant power, but he didn't hit with a ton of that as just a freshman. You need to go find some feared left-handed bats. And then they went and got Bino Waters. And you're like, well, that's a feared left-handed bat. It's the best one in the transfer portal. But Jay Johnson was not done there. He went into the transfer portal over the weekend, went to Uptown New Orleans, and went and got Jason Wax. I've been calling him Wax for the last couple of weeks. He hadn't committed to LSU, so a slight mispronunciation of the name, not going to be the end of the world. But once I started getting into the highlight video over the weekend to talk about him and to write about him for LouisianaSports.net, like 8 different play-by-play guys called him Wax. It's probably Wax, W-A-C-H-S, and that's an apt name for a left-handed hitter who really hits the ball hard a lot. Now he'll be doing that in purple and gold next year. This is a really, really nice pickup for Jay Johnson and LSU, and it adds to the left-handed thunder now in this lineup. Wax has hit since he showed up at Tulane. I went back to his freshman season. His first 2 collegiate games at Tulane, he was 4 for 7 with 2 walks. That means he got on base 6 times in the first 2 games as a true freshman, and he has not slowed down over 2 seasons. there with the Green Wave. As a freshman, he hit .335. As a sophomore, he hit .327. And you might go, well, his average dipped 8 points. And I wouldn't look too deep into that. Obviously, he had a better year as a sophomore than a freshman. The slugging percentage went up. That was a result of bumping his home run total from 2 to 9. He hit 9 home runs this past year. He hit 14 doubles as a freshman. That jumped to 21 as a sophomore. His slugging improved to .574 over the season. It jumped a total of 90 points from his freshman season. He really did a good job of barreling baseballs. His OPS this past year at Tulane was 1027. Your OPS starts with a 1 and then a decimal, you're hitting. And Wax was absolutely hitting. I took a long look at his highlight package, and there are a lot of them online, especially on Twitter. Tulane does a really good job of capturing the videos and putting them on their Twitter feed. This guy is exactly what Jay Johnson's talking about. Exactly. And I know that I've said that a few times, but this was the vision. It's what he said in that press conference after the Texas A&M game where he knew LSU was in trouble. And he said, look, we went into the transfer portal and we chased power. And we got to get guys that can use the backside of the field. We got to get guys that can stay on the baseball. We got to get guys that do the hallmark of what LSU baseball is, which is tough at bats, drawing walks, hitting the ball down and hard, scoring runs from third with less than 2 outs, driving the ball against the shift. These are pillars of what LSU has been. It's not going to find a guy that hit 22 home runs against the Sun Belt. And Jason Wax fits this. He is a great opposite field hitter. A great opposite field hitter. You see a ton of that in his highlight package. He is a on-base machine. He led Tulane in on-base percentage this season, and he had more walks this year than anybody on LSU's roster. 38 walks this year. He is a complete hitter. And the folks over at Overslot do some really cool things with statistics, and I liked the chart that they put together on Jason Wax. I'll give you a couple of the metrics that I really like. In his average exit velocity, this is a pretty easy stat to track, pretty easy thing to understand. How often do you hit it on the screws? His average exit velocity is in the 91st percentile in college baseball. His barrel rate, how often he hits the ball on the sweet spot of the bat, 83rd percentile in college baseball. His weighted on-base average, which is a sabermetric stat. It's advanced. It's not just on-base percentage, but you understand, without going into the weeds, it's on-base stuff, 86th percentile. He does not chase a lot. He's a guy who takes really good swings at balls that are in the strike zone. He's in the 80th percentile in chase percentage. And this is an interesting statistic that gets to my second point on Wax, an offensive player. His pull air percentage is in the 61st percentile. So this is not a guy who hits the ball in the air to the pull side, which is right field for him, a ton. Now turn on the highlights, and you see pull side home runs. He hit a 96-mile-an-hour Grant Fontenot home run at the box in May. Took it really off the plate inside, got the barrel to it, and hit it out of the ballpark to right field. But he doesn't do that a ton. And so when I look at the exit velocity, which is above 90 percentile, when I look at his barrel percentage, which is above 80 percentile, and you look at the fact that his pull air percentage is not very high, and that he went from 2 home runs as a freshman to 9 home runs as a sophomore, this is what Jay Johnson is talking about with growing into your power. He is a complete hitter at this point. He swings at the right pitches. He hits the ball in the barrel. He uses all fields. He gets on base. His home run total's going up. And he's not necessarily dependent on the pull, but it's there when he needs it. When he sees a mistake. When he gets the pitch he's looking for, he can drive it out of the ballpark. This is the profile to a T that Jay Johnson was looking for. I don't think that Jason Wax is as good a player as Bino Waters. I don't think he's as good a player as Cade Arambidi. I don't think he's as good a prospect as Omar Cerna. I think he is absolutely an SEC player. I think he is absolutely the profile fit that LSU was looking for here as a left-handed hitter, as a good athlete, which he is. He's played left field, center field, and right field in Tulane. And he's growing as a hitter where the power is the last thing to come. Power is the last thing to come for Jake Brown, and that's the model that he's looking for. Power will be the last thing to come for Mason Braun. That's the profile that Jay Johnson is looking for. He's looking for guys to grow into the elite hitters that they are. Now, you're only going to get one season of Jason Wax, but who'd you beat out for him? Well, he's a South Florida kid, Broward County kid down there in the very south of Florida. He looked at Miami. He looked at Florida. He looked at Florida State. He visited Tennessee. These are the schools that you're fighting Jason Wax for, and LSU comes out with him. So how does he fit into what you're doing? Well, Andrew Rydell of College Baseball News, College Baseball Today, I can't remember. Sorry. Andrew Rydell, you can find him on Twitter. He is reporting that he thinks Wax is going to move to center field. He may have heard that from somebody inside LSU's program. I wouldn't doubt that. I think Waters is the left fielder. I think Bino Waters is going to play left field. I think William Patrick can play center field and can play right field. I think, and Tulane suggested, by the way that they used him, that Wax can play center field and right field. Right field's the Sun Field in Baton Rouge. That's a big deal. Center field is where the prospects play. Patrick is the better overall athlete, but you may want him in right field. I'm not sure how they'll sort that out. And I'll say this. I will just say this on the radio. I will say this live. I will say this on the record because I'm not reporting any news. I'm just telling you how I'm feeling throughout this offseason. I would have told you 3 weeks ago, I don't think Stephen Milam, I wouldn't say that. I would not bet on Stephen Milam being back at LSU next year. I never closed the door on it, but I said I would not bet on Stephen Milam being back at LSU. He is. I would have told you earlier last week that Cade Curlin was probably going to go to the pros because he had played college baseball for 4 years and he was a freshman All-American. He's not. And I would have told you last week, come on now, Jake Brown gave a curtain call with a broken hand on senior day. He's gone. I'm not telling you that Jake Brown's coming back. I'm not telling you that. I am telling you that I'm not going to sit here and slam the door on Jake Brown's LSU career. I feel similar to how I felt about Milam and Curland, but I'm now more open to anything at this point because there were some whispers late during the season that Jake Brown was considering that, and I know how much he loves playing at LSU. But again, I'm going to look at all the information, and the information is that Jake Brown, with a broken hand, got dressed in full uniform and took a curtain call on senior day. That feels like goodbye. And based on most draft projections, he is a 7-figure signee. So I am not telling you that Jake Brown is going to be in LSU's outfield next year. I'm also not telling you it's over. Derek Curiel is going to sign for over $5 million. I am willing to sit here and tell you that's over. He sat here with Moscona. He came in. He said, look, it sucks. I want to chase another championship with LSU. I love playing baseball at LSU. I love that. But the fact that he said it sucks means that he knows his time here is done. And it would be foolish, in my estimation, for him to come back. He can certainly sign for $6 million the following year if he comes back, hits 360 again, and plays great center field. He'd still be a junior. He'd still have his leverage. It doesn't matter that he's a year older. He's only 21, 22 years old. He'd be fine. But I don't think it's going to happen. He's got to take the $5-6 million. Brown is more like 1.5. So if I'm talking about fit here, you could have Jake Brown in center field next year. You could have Jake Brown in right field next year. But I'm not betting on that. I'm just now willing to open the door more than I was a week ago when I would have told you that Stephen Milam and Cade Curlin are not going to be there. It's just there seems to be something happening at the box. Jay Johnson's probably not thrilled with the way things went, and he's pushing chips in. And I'm just not going to slam the door on that until ink is dry, and that's in August. That's a July proposition. So, again, I'm not trying to irrationally inflate your hopes here on Jake Brown. I think I've been pretty clear. I don't think he'll be back. I am not slamming the door on it. If we're talking about fit, I'm just going to go ahead and leave Jake Brown's name off to the side. I'm going to slam the door on Curiel. I can't see that happening. Brown, I could see a way. I'm not going to wager significantly on that. So Wax is a great addition for LSU, exactly the type of hitter Jay Johnson wants to bring in. Now you got Wax on the left side. You've got Bino Waters from the left side. You've got Milam, who can hit from the left side. You got Braun from the left side. From the right side, you got Cerna, Aaron Beatty, Milam, Park. you're now balancing out your lineup left and right-handed. Patrick and Ruckert are certainly involved here, and you've got a lineup that looks very, very deep and very, very strong. If I had to project where Wax hits in the lineup, I wouldn't be stunned if he was the leadoff guy. I wouldn't be stunned if he was hitting 6. They got enough really good hitters. Right now, I'm kind of looking at Park towards the bottom of the lineup, and I'm probably looking at Patrick toward the end of the lineup right now. But it's 1 through 6 or 7. It's really good old college hitters, and that's a very, very exciting thing for LSU in another baseball season to come, which we all hope goes significantly better than the one that just did. And I have reason to believe that it will. We just got to see what that pitching does, but I talked about that last week. So we're off and running here on a Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. When we come back, let's take a brief look at Clemson. 3 things to look at with Davo Sweeney's program as we get into the summer. That's next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC, FabryChevrolet.com. That's FabryChevrolet.com. I've been telling you. They're on Highway 61 in St. Francisville. That doesn't mean if you're in Baton Rouge, well, man, that's just too far to drive. It's not. It's right up the road. It's a 25-minute drive for a great deal and amazing customer service. You can check out the inventory without driving a couple miles. You can check out the inventory right there on FabryChevrolet.com. You got new? Sort by that. You want pre-owned? You can sort by that. Price? You can sort there. Mileage as well. It's all right there at your fingertips. And then going up to St. Francisville and see them. Highway 61, the customer service is second to none there. That's why the Fabry family has been successful in this town for 35 years, because they treat their customers properly. You're going to get an amazing buying experience and wonderful service after the sale. It's all there at Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Check out that entire inventory online at FabryChevrolet.com.
Box combo for George. I see you, Luis. Food's on the way.
Please don't. Hey, you know you can use your hands, right?
Got those box combos for you. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience, or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
If your office is experiencing performance issues, like...
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Guarantee Health Solutions, guiding healthcare forward. GuaranteeHealth.com.
First American Bank and Trust, FABT.com is the website, FABT.com. First American Bank and Trust started up in 1910. 1910, y'all, is when they started. And 116 years later, they are stronger than ever, grown to 25 locations throughout southeast Louisiana. That means there's always one near you, whether you're in St. Tammany or Tampa, up I-12, around the Baton Rouge area, Dutchtown, Jones Creek, maybe down in Metairie, or down the bayou, St. John, Lafourche, Terrebonne parishes. There's a First American Bank and Trust branch near you. If you're looking for a commercial loan, First American Bank and Trust. Looking for a personal loan, First American Bank and Trust. And when you're looking for approval on those loans, every decision is made locally here in southeast Louisiana. Not nationally, not in Chicago or LA or Atlanta, right here in southeast Louisiana. It's a community bank with all the resources you're looking for in a national bank. It's First American Bank and Trust. Find a location near you or check them out online at FABT.com. That's First American Bank and Trust. They are underway in Omaha, Nebraska. Elimination time for Alabama and Texas. It's an all-SEC day from Charles Schwab Field. Alabama has decided to take the field in Omaha in an elimination game in camouflage uniforms. This, my friends, is a significant indication that that program remains completely unserious. Completely unserious. They have, clog your ears if you don't want to hear this. Alabama has phenomenal baseball uniform potential. Their logo works on a baseball uniform. Like the Georgia Big G looks like the Green Bay Packers on a baseball uniform. It just doesn't look good. LSU adapted, and they go with the interlocking for the baseball uniforms. Looks awesome. But Bama's A works great on a baseball uniform. Their pinstripe uniforms are great. Their crimson uniforms are great when they wear the grays with the script. That's great. When you go out there in camouflage, you look foolish. And that's what Alabama looks like. And it's ridiculous when their coach has to tell their fan base to show up for a regional. And it's ridiculous when you show up in Omaha for the first time in, 25 years, 27 years, and you wear camouflage, is what it is. But that's a story for another day. We'll talk College World Series coming up in 15 minutes. Let's talk some football. I am, as I mentioned at the top of the show, going through a series on LouisianaSports.net where I'm going to take every opponent that LSU has, all 12 of them, that includes McNeese and Louisiana Tech, and just give you 3 things on these opponents. It's not meant to be a deep dive. It's not meant to be significantly analytic. It's just meant to be an ease in to football content, which is going to carry us through Christmas, right? And so that's where we're going to start. Clemson is a program that a lot of people nationally are looking at for some of the wrong reasons, because Dabo Swinney is reluctant to get with the times. He's reluctant to dip into the portal. He's reluctant to significantly supercharge their NIL program. He wants to do things the way he did it when Taj Boyd was playing quarterback, when Deshaun Watson was playing quarterback, when they were beating Alabama for national championships. That way worked for him, so he wants to keep doing it that way. And I think that's part of the storyline here as we get into this offseason. If you look at Clemson, the first thing I want to talk about with them is throwing things into the Wayback Machine. They're bringing Chad Morris back to run their offense. Now, Chad Morris, when he was there from 2011 to 2014, was a huge success at Clemson. Taj Boyd was awesome. Morris's offenses averaged 36 points and 469 yards per game. There was a stretch of 3 years where Clemson and Baylor under Art Briles were the only programs in the nation that had a 3,000-yard passer, a 1,000-yard receiver, and a 1,000-yard rusher every year from 2011 to 2013. Boyd broke the ACC touchdown responsible for record. Clemson had 14 offensive players drafted. Like, it was a really successful offense under Chad Morris. And as coordinators do, he flew the coop, spread his wings, went to SMU, did some good things for a program that was on hard times, and parlayed that into the Arkansas gig, where he went there and won as many SEC games as the head coach as my 15-month-old Keller, which is 0. He did not win a league game the whole time he was at Arkansas. He was fired, and since, he's kind of bounced around. Auburn gave him an opportunity during the COVID year. Then he went back to Texas high school. He took an analyst role with South Florida. He went to Clemson as an analyst. Then he went to Texas State to coach the wide receivers and be a passing game coordinator. And last year, he just took the year off and watched his son Chandler quarterback Virginia, which I think everyone can understand and respect to be a really good life decision for a guy that's got some money in the bank and can go watch his kid play college quarterback. Awesome. Well, now he's back in the business. But this is a guy that hasn't really called plays in 5 years. Can he take a Clemson offense that was 72nd nationally last year and 11th in the ACC in scoring and fix it? There are people very skeptical of that. Now, Dabo would tell you, look, this has worked in the past. This will work again. That's kind of the bet he's making, and it's against the bet that most people on the outside are looking. But can Chad Morris rekindle the magic? That's a question. Brings me to the second piece to this, and it's 3 things with Clemson. The second thing is who's replacing Cade Klubnik, and we know it's Christopher Vezina. Christopher Vezina has taken a path that you don't really see outside of Garrett Nussmeier in college football these days. He is a 4th-year junior who is just getting his chance. He was a 4-star recruit. He sat for 3 years behind Cade Klubnik. Now he's taking the reins as a junior. Now, we did see Garrett Nussmeier do this, but almost no one else does. But this is Clemson, where they do things the way that everyone used to do them. And that's what Vezina is. He went on over the last 3 years and has played in 14 games. He's completed 61% of his throws, 64 out of 105. He's thrown for about 600 yards and 4 touchdowns. He got 1 start last year against SMU, had a really nice day, 29 of 42, 317 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Really nice work against SMU. He's a 4-star recruit in the class of 2023, but he is taking over the reins of this offense in Tiger Stadium for the first time, and that's going to be an adjustment. This is not SMU. This is LSU in Death Valley with game day on campus. But this is a guy who's not young. He's old by college standards. He just hasn't played much. Clemson has not dipped into the transfer waters and, plucked a quarterback every year. They, had the Trevor Lawrence into DJU, and he lost his job, and they ended up with Klubnik, who was the guy they thought would be the guy who saved everything, and he got him to the playoffs for a year, and then things kind of bottomed out last year. But this is the path of the Clemson quarterback. 4-star recruit, sit a little bit, come in and play. How does that work? We'll certainly see, but his second start all time is going to be inside Tiger Stadium. Last thing, and we touched on this a couple of weeks ago with an ESPN story, but I'll continue to talk about it. Clemson sent 9 players to the NFL draft last year, and all 9 went in the top 5 rounds. Blake Miller, offensive tackle, was a first-rounder, so was Peter Woods at defensive tackle. You had T.J. Parker and Avion Terrell, both were in the second round off that Clemson defense. Cade Klubnik was drafted. Like most programs, when you got 9 guys drafted, you're going to go to the portal and try to replace that with some older players. And Clemson took 10 transfers, and ESPN had none in the top 100, and Rivals had none in the top 100, none as a 4-star transfer. So it's a high volume of talent going out. Is it a high volume of talent coming in? And the people who do this evaluation would suggest no. That doesn't mean they're right. It just means they say no. They say you lost a lot of draftable guys. You didn't bring in anybody that we thought was a huge impact guy. Dabo Swinney would look at that and go, well, we got a great recruiting system. We bring in guys, we develop them. That's how we're going to win. And they're going to rely on high school recruiting. I did go back and look at their high school recruiting, and this is not everything, but I'm just telling you what the folks that do this for a living say. Rivals has not ranked a Clemson high school recruiting class in the top 10 over the last 4 years. Now, the one 4 years ago was 11th, but it was not in the top 10, and that was 4 years ago. Some of those guys have moved on. So there is no national outlet that suggests that Clemson is stockpiling a ton of talent. Dabo would disagree, but that's really the point of all this. All 3 of these things I could point to and say they could be just fine. Chad Morris could be a great offensive play caller for him. He's done it before. He could do it again. Christopher Vezina could be a phenomenal quarterback, but he's not one of these guys that's already started 2 years somewhere else and has come into a power. He's been on the bench. But he could be great. And Clemson could develop the next crop of 9 draft picks out of their high school signees that have come in and are now 3 years old into the program. But that's just not the way a lot of schools are doing it now. So it just depends on which side of the pie you're looking at. Are you looking at it as Clemson's got this figured out? Or are you taking Clemson's record the last 3 seasons, which is significantly below the standard that they set pre-NIL, pre-transfer portal, and going, well, the stuff you used to do isn't working anymore? Most people are leaning on that side. I'm not here to have that discussion exactly today. I do lean against them, but that's not really the discussion. Whether you like it or not, it's how they're doing it. And that's what's coming into Tiger Stadium on Labor Day weekend to open this season. Clemson doing it Dabo's way. Is it going to be the last year do it Dabo's way, or is he going to prove everybody wrong? I think it's going to be very, very interesting. One of the more interesting teams in college football this year, and LSU gets a first look at them come Labor Day weekend in Tiger Stadium. 3 things the Clemson Tigers. We'll do one every single day. We'll do Louisiana Tech tomorrow. Just try to keep your composure in anticipation of that. But on Wednesday, you get the Ole Miss Rebels. So we'll continue to move through LSU's schedule. It starts with Clemson. You can find all that at Hunt on LSU. And if you're looking for that in the written word, you can find it at louisianasports.net every morning around 8 o'clock. We'll have a new 3 things posted for the next 11 days. The Clemson one is already up there on our homepage, as well as a portal profile of Jason Wax, which there it was. I knew I was going to do that because that's what I read it as. It's Wax. Talked about it in the first segment there. Texas wasted no time on Alabama. It's 3-0 Horns in the first inning. We'll talk some College World Series next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
GoTro's Outdoor Power, GoTrosOnline.com, GoTrosOnline.com. We are here. Unbelievable savings on their Hustler Series at both locations of GoTro's Outdoor Power. If you go to GoTro's on Airline or GoTro's in Gonzales, you're going to get the great June savings I've been telling you about all month long. But you're also going to get no sales tax on those Hustlers. Commercial mowers up to $1,500 off, plus no sales tax this week. It's Father's Day week. I've been telling you about it for 2 weeks. Go by and see them. All in-stock models. They're going to give you that incredible deal. So if you need a new zero-turn mower, I got your spot. The largest Hustler dealer in the state of Louisiana, the national Hustler dealer 2 of the last 3 years. Go by and see them. Airline Highway in Baton Rouge or in Gonzales. You can find them online at GoTrosOnline.com. That's GoTro's Outdoor Power.
At Parrish, we take pride in building roofs that last. Because in Louisiana, toughness isn't just on the court, it's in your home too.
Parrish Construction and Roofing. ParrishBuilt.com.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kevin McCarthy and the team at the Spine Center of Louisiana. Dr. McCarthy doesn't just treat symptoms. He gets to the root of the problem. From advanced injection therapy to minimally invasive surgery, they've got the expertise to get you back in the game. With 5 locations across Louisiana, including right here in Baton Rouge, quality care is close to home. Call the Spine Center of Louisiana or visit SpineCenterLA.com.
As a business owner, you're always focused on how you can improve the bottom line. Well, when was the last time you shopped your insurance coverage? Insurance Network of Louisiana can help. If you're a business owner, let my friends at Insurance Network of Louisiana see if they can find you better coverage for less money. They always offer exceptional customer service and partner with only the best providers. So check them out online today at lainsurance.net.
Eagle 98.1, the rock station. Home of the Woody Show in the morning. Scotty Mack with Rock at Work. Michelle Southern with Southern Rock. Home of LSU sports since 1998. And rock for Baton Rouge since 1985. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app and join our VIP.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Guarantee Health Solutions, guiding healthcare forward. GuaranteeHealth.com.
You know, when you think healthcare, you probably don't think hospitality. You may not consider patient experience. That's where Guarantee Health Solutions comes in. Rachel Fricke and her team are experts in making sure that patient experience, start to finish, is a positive one in the healthcare system. So if you're in an urgent care facility, if you have a dental practice, if you're at a hospital or a private practice of some sort, and you haven't considered that, contact Guarantee Health Solution. It can start digitally with the website. How easy is it to navigate? How many clicks to care? And that goes to the visit. When you're walking in the front door, how are you greeted? What's the experience like once you sit in the waiting room? When you leave, are you taken care of? And is there someone to reach out to make sure follow-ups are conducted? These are all things that should be taken very seriously in healthcare and sometimes aren't. And Rachel Fricke learned that when she went through the system with her mother who's diagnosed with cancer. Rachel has a background in hotels, and she was like, well, I know hospitality, and this is not it. It's impersonal, and it's unpleasant. We can change that, and that's what Guarantee Health Solutions aims to do. Concierge healthcare is growing. They're right there in the middle of it. You're talking about a team at Guarantee Health Solutions that have managed over 1 million patients a year. They're in 12 states, more than 25 partnerships. They improved a Net Promoter Score recently with a partner from 65 to 90 in only 3 months' time. They're difference makers at Guarantee Health Solutions. If you'd like to learn more, check them out at GuaranteeHealth.com. That's GuaranteeHealth.com. All right, I got to face the music, right? Got to. Because I picked Ole Miss to win the College World Series before they threw a pitch. And Ole Miss is going home. First team eliminated from the College World Series. You got to face the music on that, right? Well, sure. I'll tell you this. My Ole Miss picks started after the SEC tournament. I told you I thought Ole Miss was live going to Lincoln. They swept that regional. I told you I really liked them at Auburn. They swept that super. And that's why I told you I liked them in Omaha, because I liked their starting rotation. Rabe is pitching his way into a first-round pick. Elliott has been nails for them over the course of 5 years of postseason baseball with a lot of injuries involved. And then, of course, Cade Townsend is a likely first-round pick who's their number 3. Meanwhile, Walker Hooks has been awesome. Calhoun's been a great setup man, and their bats had done plenty against what was a really good pitching staff against Auburn. So I liked Ole Miss. And here's what happens when you get to Omaha sometimes. Your dudes don't show up. Rabe had his worst command of the season in their opener against North Carolina. Now, he gutted through 5 2/3, and he got him into the 6th inning, but he doesn't walk people, and he walked a ton. And then they went to Walker Hooks in both of those games, and he got lit up. And Walker Hooks has not been lit up in 6 weeks. And that's the thing about Omaha, is that you can have a good team when you go up there, but you've also got to play well. And Ole Miss just played really poorly. I don't regret the pick at all. I thought it was a really reasonable pick. Ole Miss is eliminated from the College World Series, and Cade Townsend, who might go in the first round of the draft, didn't throw a pitch. Now, I did understand that's a home run-based offense that was going to a place where it's really hard to hit home runs. And they couldn't against North Carolina. DeCaro was brilliant. But they did hit 3 home runs yesterday. They also gave up 3 home runs. First game in the College World Series where both teams hit 3 home runs since 2001. But Ole Miss just didn't show up. Their dudes, their pitchers didn't show up. Rabe wasn't good. Hooks was awful. Calhoun wasn't great. Elliott wasn't great. And Troy bashed them all over the yard. So they're toast. And that's not going to make me cry, but I do have to talk about it because I picked them to win. They certainly did not win. Now let's talk about some of these other games as well. Georgia played Texas in the marquee game on Saturday night, right? And here's what you got. You got Joey Volchko delivering his greatest performance as a college pitcher. 2 years at Stanford, 1 year at Georgia, best he's ever been. He was throwing a 95-mile-an-hour cutter that was moving a foot. He was snapping off sliders that were in the high 80s, low 90s. He wasn't walking guys. He struck out 15, complete game. He dominated. Meanwhile, Carson Tenney, who's an All-American catcher for Texas, couldn't throw the ball to first base. I know there were some LSU fans watching that were getting 2015 PTSD. Because you had a veteran who had a great season, who's the winningest pitcher in the history of LSU baseball, and Jared Poche, who threw the ball over the first baseman's head twice. And Tenney the first one, he just floated. And the second one, he should have thrown home and ended up winging it into right field. And then Volantis settled in, but by that time, Volchko had it on cruise control, and there was nothing that Texas could do. Meanwhile, let's talk about this because this is something I wrote about on Sunday that is relevant to LSU. Look at what's happened in the College World Series so far. I just told you why Ole Miss went home. Rabe did not have his good stuff. Elliott wasn't great. I just told you why Georgia beat Texas, because their pitcher, who's an ace, had his best day as a collegiate pitcher. Same thing can be said for Oklahoma. Cord Rager, who's been wildly mediocre as a freshman. When you're talking about ace terms, he's been great for a freshman, but if you're talking about College World Series Omaha ace all season, wildly mediocre. LSU touched him up in Baton Rouge. He went out there and was just dynamite against Alabama. Dynamite. And then you look at Jason DeCaro, who carved up Ole Miss. And you look at what's winning games aside from the Troy games. The Troy games have been offensive because Troy has some good hitters and they have no pitching. So the Troy games have gotten offensive. But the good teams in Omaha, the teams that are a threat to win the national championship, they are winning with starting pitching. If you take the Troy game out when they played West Virginia and you look at the next 3 games of the first round when the Aces went, the winning teams gave up a total of 3 runs in 3 games. That is the recipe. It's Anderson, it's Ianson, it's Skeens, it's Floyd. Ackenhausen did it. Griffin Herring did it. Thatcher Hurd did it. It's starting pitching wins in Omaha above all else. Yes, Tennessee went up there and hit a bunch of home runs without a true ace and won the national championship in 2024. I'm not suggesting it's impossible to do it any other way, but the best formula to get there and win is to pitch it great. And you don't have to be the 3rd pick in the draft to pitch it great. It's a friendly place to pitch, but you have to throw strikes. You have to strike some guys out. And you need your starting pitchers to work deep into games so as not to tax your bullpen. There are not a ton of college programs with awesome bullpens. North Carolina's got 2 studs. You saw McDuffie. You've seen Glauber. They're awesome. And LSU had Shores dealing last year, and it was fantastic. And Riley Cooper had his moments, no question about it. But the starting pitching is where the best pitchers pitch. They eat the most innings. That's how it gets done. And when I look at this LSU team entering 2027, I love the lineup. It looks great. I have my doubts about their starting pitching. Now, if you want to tell me, hey, I'll just fast forward 11 months. By the end of May next year, you're going to see Evans is a stud, Schmidt's a stud, Hood's a stud, Paz is a stud. They're fine. That path is seeable. I can see that path. it's just not proven. Your offense at this point looks pretty proven. But you've got to have starting pitching to win up there. It's the easiest way to maneuver things. And you're seeing it with the way these guys have pitched thus far. And the team that has gone home, their starters didn't have their best stuff. And so that's the thing. I'm trying to watch this NCAA tournament through a different lens than I've really ever watched it because I just didn't have a dog in the hunt. And I'm watching it going, okay, the regional round is nuts. 2, you've got to score in these little ballparks. You saw that in regional play. You saw that in Athens. You saw that in Atlanta. You had to score runs. You have to hit some home runs. You need some power. But by the time you get to Omaha and that field gets bigger, you need to miss bats. You need to get guys deep into games. You need your starting pitching to show up. And the teams that are in the winner's bracket, North Carolina, Georgia's going to win again tonight. They've got starting pitching. And I think that's a crucial thing, obviously, to look at here in the College World Series. So Alabama's answer to Texas 3 spot. They do have a run. We play on up there in Omaha. 3-1 Texas leads. Ruger Riojas on the bump for the Texas Longhorns. It was Volantis in Game 1, Riojas here in Game 2. I expect Texas to take care of business here and move on. But right now, it looks like Georgia and North Carolina are very much in the driver's seats, and that is not even counting tonight's game where Oklahoma could beat Georgia. I just don't think it's going to happen. So we'll see. I've been very wrong before. Plenty happy to talk about it. We'll come close out hour number 2. Hour number 1 coming up next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Marucci, go take a tour over at Marucci. Such a cool spot to go see, and such a cool story. And you can see how the bats are made. It's the official bat of Major League Baseball. They make 1,200 of them every day. You can see where they're whittled down. You can see where they're finished. You can see where they're stained. You can see where they're sent off. And you can also learn the story of 2 former big leaguers who decided to start making bats with their former trainer, and all of a sudden they decided they were onto something. 22 years later, they got the official bat of Major League Baseball. Such a cool story that you can learn. So take a tour and understand that when you buy a campus tour when you buy a campus tour ticket, you get 20% off in the campus tour store as well as the hitter's house. So go to maruccisports.com/campus-tour and buy that ticket. It's summertime, kids aren't in school, looking for something to do for them during the day. Take them to Marucci. See a tour. Such an awesome way. Spend an afternoon and see one of the true gems here in Baton Rouge. That is, of course, our friends at Marucci.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith with Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates. We take great pride in educating our clients about their rights. Whether you're injured at work or while you drive, call our office at 272-5555. Knowledge is power, and you should know your rights after an injury.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan of Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates. When insurance companies have been unfair, we've never been afraid to go to trial. Fighting hard to protect your rights, we never settle a case out of convenience. We only settle when it's right for you. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kevin McCarthy and the team at the Spine Center of Louisiana. Dr. McCarthy doesn't just treat symptoms. He gets to the root of the problem. From advanced injection therapy to minimally invasive surgery, they've got the expertise to get you back in the game. With 5 locations across Louisiana, including right here in Baton Rouge, quality care is close to home. Call the Spine Center of Louisiana or visit spinela.com and tell them Matt sent you.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers.
I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana propane dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit LouisianaPropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Guarantee Health Solutions, guiding health care forward. GuaranteeHealth.com.
Highland Insurance Group, HighlandIG.com, HighlandIG.com. It is storm season right this very minute. Time to make sure your insurance program reflects that and is ready for storm season. We never know when that next hurricane is going to hit. It's been a quiet couple of years, and feel like hopefully there's a couple more coming, but you never know. The time to figure that out is not when that storm gets into the Gulf. It's time now. How'd you get your building evaluated? Do you have the right number on that? Do you have co-insurance penalties if your coverage is improper? What about your business interruption limits? Are you comfortable knowing you can't work for 3 weeks because a severe storm rolled through? Are you going to be able to recoup those revenues? Are you going to be able to keep paying your expenses? That's what insurance is designed to do. But you need to check now and make sure that it's covered. And if it's not, you need to fix it. The Howard Insurance Group is here to do that. They've got a team of experts. They've got dozens of markets they can place your property coverage with. So if you're not comfortable with your current property policy or you haven't talked to your current broker about that property policy, you just know what it costs, contact Jonathan Carver and the Highland Insurance Group and say, hey, I want to make sure that I'm ready for hurricane season. Just take a look at this and make sure we're good to go. They're happy to do it. It's the Highland Insurance Group. Find them online at HighlandIG.com. I'm going to close up the hour here just with a thought. We haven't talked a lot of NBA Finals on this show, and for good reason. It's not necessarily a local talking point. It's the San Antonio Spurs and the New York Knicks, right? But I was really taken by the reactions from New York City. I've said this throughout the NBA playoffs this year. The Knicks winning the championship, being good, being relevant, is just cooler to the guy with no dog in the fight than it is if the Thunder are good or the Nuggets are good or the Kings or Magic or Suns are good. The Knicks are a more culturally relevant franchise. New York is the biggest media market in the world. It's a fan base that is starved for a winner, that has what it self-describes as the greatest arena in the world. You've got celebrities, which some people may be turned off by that. I kind of think it's cool to have Spike Lee and Ben Stiller and Timothée Chalamet and the whole crew right there at courtside. I think it's cool to have Manhattan go nuts over this team. It's just cooler to see tens of thousands of people lining the streets singing that New York song after the Knicks win, hanging off street. It's just cooler to see that than it is to see downtown Oklahoma City or Cleveland. It just is. And I just thought it was awesome. It brought me back to when the Cubs won. And I didn't have as long as a lot of people. There are Knicks fans in their late 40s, in their early 50s that have never seen the Knicks win. When the Cubs won the World Series, I was 16, so I was I can't even do the math. 28, is that right? Yeah, 28 years old. That's not an eternity. I'd only been a Cubs fan really for like 20 years. But there are dads and sons that have never seen this type of thing that it was bringing back Cubs memories. And that is, again, cooler than when Boston wins again because they see that all the time. Good for them. I like seeing teams celebrate winning the whole thing. But like seeing people react to things they've never seen before that they've wanted their whole life is cool. And I sit here as someone who has watched LSU win a baseball championship in the last 12 months, who has sat through 3 LSU championships in the building for football, who has watched the Cubs win the championship. Like, I can't put myself in those shoes unless LSU basketball wins it. And so to watch someone go through something that I have experience with that I won't really get again, it's really cool. I thought it was awesome. The games on the floor were sensational. The comeback was unbelievable. The 2 dogfights in San Antonio were great. The game in the closeout was awesome. I have my complaints with some of the way that San Antonio handled things. I mean, De'Aaron Fox just kept shooting and kept missing. Like, how about he should be at best the 4th option on that team, and he's putting up shots. I don't get that. I have comments on Victor Wembanyama's postgame where he said we dominated the series. That's a 22-year-old who doesn't quite grasp what he's saying. The most important moments of a basketball game in the last 4 minutes, and you got your butts kicked in those more often than not. You want to say we feel really good about a lot of things we did. We just need to finish. That's good. You want to say we dominated. I have a hard time with that. Brunson was the best player on the floor, and you were on the floor. But the reaction from New York Knicks fans was really cool to watch. The reaction in the Manhattan streets was really cool to watch. The reactions of the dads and sons was really cool to watch. The reaction of Jalen Brunson and his dad was really cool to watch. Again, it's just, to me personally, it is a more captivating champion than any other in the NBA because of the drought they were on, the city they play in, the arena they call home, the cultural phenomenon. How many Knicks references are in pop culture and in movies and television? Just a lot. It was a cool thing to watch. I didn't have a dog in the fight, but I really, really enjoyed it. So that's a look at the NBA Finals. We'll come back. Pause for Sports Center, hour number 2 coming your way.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Love telling you my friends over at Auctioner. They've got a lot of just great messaging for you here over the course of the summer. And we've been telling you all of June about Auctioner's plan to just get you moving and keep you moving, quite honestly. So whether you're an athlete or just trying to stay active, rely on Auctioner. You've got access to the highest levels of specialized care, nationally renowned expertise, the latest equipment, modern facilities, and a walk-in orthopedic clinic at Elite right there on Burbank that you can use when you need care fast. From the field to recovery, Auctioner Andrews Institute is there to help you move your healing forward and get you back to what you love. So if it's a sprain, if it's a strain, if it's a minor dislocation, a sports injury, even an ACL tear, maybe you've got sudden or ongoing non-spine related musculoskeletal pain, no appointment is needed. You can walk in today to the Elite Training Complex on Burbank. That's all, friends, at Auctioner at auctioner.org/BRortho.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Another roof gone too soon. Looks like neglect. There's no doubt about it. This is a case of poor installation. At Pelican Roofing, we don't guess. We investigate to find the real cause of your roof's problems. Call Pelican Roofing for your free roof investigation today. Case closed.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient. And you will have your pool in no time.
Supreme Jasmine is premium American-grown rice from local farms.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Ed Bank, and we start with coaching news in the NBA. According to ESPN Shams Charania, Bulls are finalizing a deal for Thiago Splitter to take over as their new head coach. Splitter worked in Portland last season. Also, according to Shams Charania, Aaron Peterson is making a pre-draft visit with the Wizards, but will not visit any other teams. While the Knicks are still savoring their first NBA title in 53 years, Finals MVP Jalen Brunson was on Good Morning America and talked about what it was like to celebrate the championship with his father.
I mean, it's really special to be able to share that moment with him. I think I said this a couple of times, but him being a journeyman in the NBA, like, I never really got to be around him consistently.
The Knicks will get a championship parade in New York on Thursday. At the World Cup, a shocker as Spain settles for a scoreless draw with Cape Verde. Belgium and Egypt are about to get underway in Seattle. Later at 6 Eastern at Saudi Arabia and Uruguay. And then tonight at 9 Eastern in Southern California, it'll be New Zealand taking on Iran. The College World Series on ESPN. In the bottom of the second inning, Texas leads Alabama 3-1 as they play in an elimination game.
Hey, it's Michelle Smallman, and coming up Tuesday, as the New York Knicks celebrate their first title in 53 years, I'll tell you if other teams can copy their recipe for success. It's on Sportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
He needs care and treatment.
You are now listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Is this a great country or what?
Locking down the middle of the day, live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Hour 2, Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Hope that work week's off to a good start. Appreciate you being here with us. Texas 5, Alabama 1 from Omaha. Longhorns all over Alabama pitching early in this one. We're going to talk some Saints here in about 1 minute, but I just saw this on Twitter and it made me laugh, so I got to check this out. This has got to be, I mean, soccer, I don't have a good handle on soccer. Y'all know this. I don't know anything about soccer. I don't watch soccer. This is obvious. Maybe this is more common than I think, but it just seems just like a preposterous move. Tunisia, I don't know if they're good or not, but they lost 5-1 in their World Cup game last night, I think to Sweden. They fired their coach today. They just started the World Cup. They played one match. They have at least 2 more to go, and they canned their coach. That can't be general practice. That would be, I can't even come up with something in that vein. In, I guess, like, if you were in the NBA playoffs, that's a serious sport, maybe the MLB playoffs, and you got dusted in the NBA playoffs by like 30 on your home floor, and you're just like, all right, fire the coach, interim guy, you're in. Like, this guy theoretically has been with them through the buildup of, like, cultivating the national team, getting them ready for action. They play 90 minutes plus. He's out. He's out of a gig. Soccer does some weird stuff. They burn things in the stands. You got South Americans that maybe put hits out on people if they don't make enough saves. There's weird soccer stuff. Firing the coach 1 game into the World Cup is a weird thing to do. But it's Tunisia and it's soccer, so I don't have any further comment other than I think it's weird. Let's get into some things that I know a little bit more about. We can do that with the New Orleans Saints. Bleacher Report came out with a little exercise today. Best case and worst case scenarios for every offense in the National Football League. And what I like to do prior to reading these list pieces or summer content pieces, like we'll just call them what they are, like they're meant to be discussed, right? I think about what I would say, and then I read it. And so if I'm looking at the Saints offense and I say best case, worst case, let's start with the bad news and get to the good news. That's the way you generally like to do things, right? Like worst case scenario for the Saints is pretty obvious. It's a Tyler Shuck significant regression. It's looking up at some point in mid-November, and you've only got 2 wins, and Shuck's turning the ball over a ton, and it just doesn't look good. That would be the worst case scenario for the Saints, because as important as Chris Olave and his new deal are to the organization, as important as your 2 tackles are on each side of the offensive line, as important as you plugging in a new left guard to solidify things, and your 1,000-yard back that you just brought in, and your first-round receiver, as I mentioned, and going to solidify things at tight end with 2 draft picks in the last 2 years and a free agent signing of fan. Like, as important as all that stuff is, and it is, as important as Kellen Moore is, and he is, if your quarterback's no good, it's over. And we entered the draft last year thinking, okay, it may take a minute to find the quarterback. Not everybody is Peyton Manning right into Andrew Luck. Not everybody is Favre into Rodgers into Love. Usually, there's a lull. Usually, you're trying to find that next guy, and it takes some time. There's usually a little Mac Jones in there before you find the guy that you want in before there's usually a little bit of trouble after Brady, right? And so I'm sitting here in a completely different headspace than I was last year because of Tyler Shuck at the end of the season beating some bad teams. And I think that should give Saints fans a lot of reason for optimism. But for me, Shuck not playing well clearly is the worst case scenario for the Saints. And so I go to read it, and worst case scenario, Shuck doesn't improve. The writing says Shuck flashed a high ceiling during his 9 rookie starts, and New Orleans expects him to continue growing in year 2. Of course, it's worth noting that Shuck entered the NFL as an older prospect and will turn 27 in September. It's reasonable to expect year 2 growth. However, Shuck's already approaching his NFL. If Shuck is already approaching his NFL ceiling, the Saints offense may top out as merely average. So we agreed with that. I would suggest, before I read it, best case scenario, that probably involves Shuck as well. But if you're not going to double up there and just say, well, this whole thing is Shuck dependent, I would say best case scenario, Jordan Tyson becomes a offensive rookie of the year candidate. If that happens, you now have a receiving core that falls into place. Olave is an elite 2 and a below average 1. If he becomes your 2, now you're elite. And by definition, if Jordan Tyson surpasses Chris Olave and goes out there and catches 1,400 yards worth of balls and 11 touchdowns, you've now got a real number 1. And so you then just let the rest of the guys fill that spot. You let Vele fill his spot as the big body, third down red zone threat. You let Bryce Lance come along at his speed as a deep threat. You let Juwan Johnson and Fant and Delp be third, fourth, fifth options in the passing game. You have players filling a role that makes more sense. Chris Olave as a 1 automatically limits the ceiling of your receiving core. That's just the truth. If he's the best you have, you're not going to be amongst the best in the league. He can be on a receiving core that is amongst the best in the league. If he's the best receiver on it, then I don't necessarily see it. Because I think there are 15 receivers better than him in the NFL. But if Jordan Tyson's one of those, Now you got something. That's the best case for me. What does Bleacher Report say? Bleacher Report says Travis Etienne, Jordan Tyson, allow Kellen Moore to open up the offense. Kind of the same thing. You're talking about the running game, and I could suggest that somebody, if asked the same question about best case scenario, you would say not that Jordan Tyson's a true number one, that with the addition of Edwards, with the two tackles, Fuaga and Banks growing up, and a healthy McCoy, you become a top 12 rushing offense in the NFL. That may be best case scenario, because in that way, you would control the ball, control the clock, get ahead of the chains, take pressure off Shuck, make the defense come forward, open up play action pass, create one-on-one matchups. Like all of that comes with the running game benefits the quarterback. Because nothing's easier for a second-year quarterback to do, whether he's 27 or 22. Nothing's easier than turn around and hand the ball off. Nothing's easier than giving out of the shotgun. It's the easiest thing you can do as a quarterback. So I can see that as well. And that's kind of a blend of those two things together, in that Travis Etienne and Jordan Tyson allow Kellen Moore to really do the things that he wants to do. But what this really got me thinking about, and we'll probably do defense tomorrow if Bleacher Report comes out with that, is what's the best case scenario for the Saints and what's the worst case scenario for the Saints? Not the offense, the team. And I got to thinking about that to a degree. And I don't want to be hyperbolic with it, but you also understand that some wild things have happened. You would not have put a Super Bowl ceiling on the Patriots last year. You would not have put an NFC Championship game ceiling on Washington 2 years ago. Those were kind of, in NFL terms, out of nowhere. So really, why even try to put a ceiling on it? But if I'm trying to be realistic, I think the Saints' ceiling is a home playoff game from winning the division and winning that playoff game. Then I think at that point you would go on the road, and I think you would be stretching if you try to put the ceiling over the top of that. And worst case scenario gets ugly with Shuck not playing well and that start with an 0-2 and then potentially a bumpy homestand, and it can get ugly. Worst case scenario. But if you just stick to the offense, there are bigger question marks there, which leaves a lot of variance. That ceiling's pretty high with the additions you've made and with Shuck developing, and that floor is low because you don't have proven commodity in Jordan Tyson and Tyler Shuck. It's this team that has a lot of variance in where it can be. And I think that makes them one of the more exciting teams to follow. Just glad that we're out of the doldrums that we were in for about 4 years there. If you want to read it, you can check it out at Bleacher Report. It's a cool little piece with every single team in the NFL listed. But Saints, best case scenario, Etienne and Tyson allow Kellen Moore to open things up for Tyler Shuck. Worst case scenario, Shuck's not the dude. And we don't need to talk any further about Shuck not being the dude in June. If we're going to have that conversation, it's going to be in late September, mid-October. No sense in having that right now. Because right now, let's just believe he is the dude. I'm good with that. Just leave it right where it is. That's our discussion on the Saints for today. You can check out Ross Jackson stuff at LouisianaSports.net and My Saints content. Always available at Hunt on LSU, wherever you find your podcast, of course, on YouTube as well. When we come back, LSU football nabbed a flip of a commitment. It's the first at that position. It might not be the only one today. I'll talk about that when we come back.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Lifetime Roofing, LifetimeRoofingLA.com. LifetimeRoofingLA.com is that website. Look, Lifetime Roofing is a local roofer you can trust, and that's important when it comes to roofing because most of us, myself very much included, don't know what we're looking for on top of a roof. Can't go up there and figure out if something's wrong. Now, if I got leakage, I know something's wrong. But honestly, you can't really tell if you're like me. Lifetime Roofing will go up there and do an inspection for you. They'll tell you if you need a new roof, and they'll help you with that. If you need to do it retail, they can do that with financing options. If you need to file a claim, they can help you through that process as well. They can also tell you if you need a tune-up. They can tell you if you just need a repair, not a fully new roof. They're not going to take advantage of you because you don't know exactly what you're looking at on top of a roof. Some roofing companies will. They'll sell you their most expensive goods. That's a new roof. You can trust Lifetime Roofing. They're here in Baton Rouge. They've got a gorgeous facility just off College, a growing team based here in Baton Rouge, and they're here to serve South Louisiana. So if you feel like you might have a roof issue, if you just want peace of mind to know that you do, Lifetime Roofing can help you out with that. Check them out online at LifetimeRoofingLA.com. LifetimeRoofingLA.com.
Parrish Construction and Roofing. Trusted by champions, built for Louisiana.
Do business with someone you know.
Parrish Construction and Roofing.
Parish Construction and Roofing. ParishBuilt.com.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs. Set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free confidential help now.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
The experts at Hood Dental Care want you smiling bigger and healthier than ever. New patients can get a healthy gums cleaning for just $89, plus a free exam and full mouth x-rays. A $376 value. With over 3,000 five-star Google reviews, 5 local locations, and easy online scheduling with same-day care. Hood Dental makes it simple to get started. And we always have other great giveaways.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Guarantee Health Solutions, guiding healthcare forward. GuaranteeHealth.com.
Always love to remind you about Boudreaux's Electrical Services. They're on. They got such a great history here in South Louisiana. Neil and Melissa have been running Boudreaux's Electrical for 40 years, and their son Justin now is helping run the show. And the customer service you get from the folks at Boudreaux's Electrical is phenomenal. They'll come out to your house, survey the situation. If you're looking for that Generac home standby generator, they'll get you a quote more often than not right there on the spot. And then if you decide to move forward with it, to give yourself the peace of mind of knowing you won't lose power because you've got that Generac home standby generator right there on site, then they'll have a local team come out and install it. They will monitor your generator 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And if there is an issue mechanically, they're going to send a local team out quickly to make sure it's ready to go. Because the last thing you want is to spend your hard-earned money on a Generac home standby generator and then have a equipment breakdown you're not even aware of, and then the power goes out and you think the generator's going to come on and it just doesn't. And that could happen to you if you buy from the big box store and never hear from them again. That will never happen at Boudreaux's Electrical Services. You will always be in contact with them. It's just part of their business model. It's why they've been successful for 40 years. Give them a call. They're down there in the 985-397-1562. That's 985-397-1562. You can call the Gonzales location as well, 225-300-9389. Tell them you want that Generac home standby generator in now because it's storm season. It's time to get rolling. Boudreaux's Electrical can help you out with that. They're online at boudreauxelectrical.com. All right, LSU flips a commitment from Cal on the offensive line. Amaziah Siale is the latest entrant into LSU's recruiting class of 2027. He's a big dude. He hails from Hawaii, 6'6", 330 pounds, rated as a 3-star recruit by Rivals, ESPN, and 24/7, but obviously big projectable body. He had been committed to Cal, but he had taken a visit to LSU. Texas was in the mix. He had a visit scheduled to Texas. He's canceled that visit to Texas. He's going to come to LSU. He also visited Oklahoma. He visited Notre Dame. He visited SMU, visited West Virginia. Seen a lot of places, but Cal was the place he had been committed to. Now he flips to LSU. He's the first offensive lineman into this class for the Tigers. And you might say, well, a 3-star, like why? And I get that. Here's what I've gathered from Lane Kiffin early on, and I think this is probably going to be the case a lot of the time. I didn't say all the time, but a lot of the time. This is a money-based system in roster composition. You've got a salary cap. And Lane Kiffin has been very upfront. He wants the guys he spends money on to play. Will Wade has said the same thing in basketball. We're not paying 13 guys. We're paying 7 or 8. Those are the guys we're going to play. In football, you can't pay 7 or 8, but you can prioritize 40 and then fill the back end of the roster. Guys that don't play, that make a significant amount of money, hamper your ability to win because it's essentially dead money. Now, there's something to be said for getting guys in the program, developing them, and having them contribute as sophomores, juniors, and seniors, of course. And you do want to make sure that that is the case. And I believe Lane Kiffin took the LSU job for legitimate access to some of those players. But what position group, more so than any other, struggles to play as true freshmen? Offensive linemen. Running backs, they play. Wide receivers, they play. Corey Raymond corners, they play. Offensive linemen struggle to get to the field as 18 and 19-year-old young men. The offensive line is more for 20 to 22-year-olds to play. You got to fill out. You got to learn to deal with these 6'4", 245-pound terrors off the SEC edges who are 22 years old, 23 years old. And that's just a hard thing for offensive linemen to do. So offensive linemen don't help a lot as freshmen. Don't get a lot of Will Campbells. So I don't think Lane Kiffin is going to be really quick to spend a lot of money to outbid Ohio State, Georgia, Florida, and Texas on 4-star offensive tackles. That's just my guess. I think he'd rather have Jordan Seaton. He'd rather have Alu Ba. If he's going to develop depth, he's going to go do it with William Satterwhite, who's 2 years into his Tennessee career. So I think you're going to see 3-star offensive linemen that may not be getting huge offers from other programs, that may need to be projects in a sense, that may transfer out. But you're not going to invest significantly for the 2027 team on an offensive lineman who's not going to play for the 2027 team unless something goes really wrong. And you haven't seen LSU sign an offensive lineman in this class. But they just got that commitment from Amaziah Siale, and that is not expected to be the only commitment they get from an offensive lineman today. Today, Terrence Smith, a 4-star offensive lineman from Pennsylvania, is set to announce. And the feeling from those that are making predictions, Shea Dixon being one of them, is that LSU is going to land Terrence Smith. He's another big dude, 6'7", 290 pounds. He's visited Rutgers, he's visited Auburn, he's visited Penn State, and he just left a visit to Tennessee. 24/7 loves Terrence Smith. They think he's the number 39 player in the country. Rivals has him as 23 at his position. But he's a 4-star across the board. And you're looking at a guy that has some high-level offers and is a projectable frame. Both these guys are north of 6'6", and they're big dudes who can get stronger. And I think that at some positions, LSU is going to swim at the top of the high school ranks. Corner, wide receiver, absolutely. You want to look for edge rushers that you can get in the program? Sure. Well, yeah, absolutely. You see guys specifically from the state of Louisiana, no matter what their position is. Yeah, you got a good chance to keep those guys and develop them. You want Ahmad Hudson, even though he costs a lot. You want Albert Simeon, even though he costs a lot. You want Tradez Green and Will Campbell, even though they cost a lot, because those guys are from Louisiana, they may stick around. But nationally, offensive linemen, quarterbacks, those are guys that cost a lot and don't play as freshmen. I don't know if LSU is going to jump into those waters immediately to have that much dead money on the roster. That's just not helping. So I think this is going to be a really good day for LSU as far as recruiting. I don't know if it's going to be the most high-profile day because you're not talking about guys that are five-star recruits or top 15 players in the country. But I think this is probably the way, based on his press conference answers and then the composition of the class, you're going to look at closer to 3-star linemen, 4-star linemen that have some physical traits that they could potentially grow into, but they're also not going to command a ridiculous amount of cash in the world of recruiting. It's an interesting game. The Billy Glasscock, Lane Kiffin have to sit there and play because you've got to do what's best for you, and you got to understand that you're going to have to assemble your roster for significant cash. You can't have that cash you're spending on guys that don't play. So this is a really good thing for LSU. Going to be a little under the radar, but two big offensive linemen that do have some SEC offers that will become the first two offensive linemen in this group. LSU's got to continue to stock those shells on the offensive line. I could argue that, among other things, the offensive line's downfall was the downfall of the Brian Kelly era. You've got to get that right. You've got to be able to run the ball and protect your quarterback in this Lane Kiffin offense. These two guys won't be doing it for LSU this coming fall, and they probably won't next fall. But they could in 3 or 4 falls if they decide to stick around and develop. But either way, it doesn't feel like they're probably going to command a ridiculous amount of cash in the process. So looking at a commitment for LSU that's already in from Amaziah Siale, and one that everyone is expecting at this point from Terrence Smith. It'll be 2 offensive linemen for Coach Wolford, Coach Craig, Coach Kiffin, and LSU. Try to continue to assemble that recruiting class that got off to a slow start numbers-wise, but it started to pick up the pace. Shea Dixon has tweeted this out. He thinks it could be a 3-commitment in 24-hour situation for LSU. Mentioned those two, potentially a running back that LSU could grab in a tomorrow announcement. So exciting times for Lane Kiffin as they continue to work the high school trail. And we're getting closer to some LSU Fighting Tiger football. I talked about media days in the first segment. That's 5 weeks away. I talked about our series we're doing right now. 3 things on a team every single day. We knocked Clemson off the list earlier today with 3 things to look at with Dabo Sweeney's program. So if you're itching for football, hunt on LSU's where all our football content lives for LSU. You can also read about it at LouisianaSports.net. Texas all over Alabama. It is 7-1 Longhorns over the Crimson Tide. Tide has already gone to the bullpen. Ruger Yoha still dealing for the Longhorns as they try to stay alive and end Alabama's season up in Omaha. Looks like a pretty nice crowd for a Monday afternoon there at Charles Schwab Field. We'll talk a little bit about that and a little bit more. We got 30 minutes to go here. It is a Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
One Bath and Closets. OneBathAndClosets.com is the website. David Duvall and his team, 30 years redesigning and remodeling bathrooms and closets. If your bathroom or your house were built in 1990-ish, 1995-ish, you may have one of those big jacuzzi-style tubs. They were very popular then. A lot of buttons, a lot of jets, and it may not be functional this day, or maybe it just has never been a priority for you. You don't use it. Well, think about how much space that tub is taking up. You can take it out and put in a gorgeous glass walk-in shower. Same space, completely different function, dresses up your bathroom, adds value to your home, gives you something you'll actually use. That's what David Vaughn and his team do all the time. Tub-to-shower conversions are right up their alley. And I asked David, we were talking with him, like, hey, what does this timeline look like to do a tub-to-shower conversion? Like, well, every job is a little bit different, but most often, 3 to 5 days. You're talking about less than a week. You could transform your bathroom. If that's something you're interested in, go to OneBathAndClosets.com. Request that free consultation with David and his team. It's One Bath and Closets. They're online at OneBathAndClosets.com.
When it comes to industrial construction, a River Parish Contractors can do it all. mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
Box combo for George. I see you, Luis. Food's on the way.
Please don't. Hey, you know you can use your hands, right?
Got those box combos for you. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
Lockmeyer, Sean Fagan and Associates has won for our clients over $175 million over the decades, but our greatest success is our clients who have chosen and trusted us to help them. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call. You've got nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan. If you get injured, you could be staring at medical bills, repair costs, and lost income. Life can be turned upside down. At Lockmeyer, Sean Fagan and Associates, we'll work to turn your world right side up. Hire us, and like thousands of our clients, you'll be glad you did.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The experts at Hood Dental Care want you smiling bigger and healthier than ever. New patients can get a healthy gums cleaning for just $89, plus a free exam and full mouth x-rays. A $376 value. With over 3,000 five-star Google reviews, 5 local locations, and easy online scheduling with same-day care. Hood Dental makes it simple to get started. And we always have other great giveaways for new patients. Check out hooddentalcare.com and schedule your appointment today.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like...
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Guarantee Health Solutions, guiding healthcare forward. GuaranteeHealth.com.
Moving right along here on this Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. We're brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions, GuaranteeHealth.com, GuaranteeHealth.com. Hope your work week's off to a good start. Been fast moving. We talked about a lot of different things. Talked Saints at the top of hour number 2. Little NBA Finals recap, just kind of what I saw on social media after the Knicks won it. We've talked some College World Series, talked Clemson football, as well as Jason Wax at LSU brought in over the weekend from Tulane to help bolster its offense to try to get back to the College World Series next year. And I want to spend a little bit of time on the College World Series today. Texas is in complete control. They're going to send Alabama home. It's the top of the 4th inning right now in Omaha, but Texas already up 7-1. I just did not think Alabama was good all year. I don't think Alabama is good today. I think they got some really good breaks in the draw. They did not have to play the 2 seed in the second game of their regional. They got St. John's in a super, and I think their starting pitching was okay. I think Brady Neal's had a nice day. I think Justin LeBron's a huge talent. I think Rob Vaughn's a good coach, but I just don't think Alabama has been very good all year, and I think they'll be going home. As I am lamenting the entire Alabama program, they just pumped a homer into the right center field seats. But that being said, they're down 7-2, and I still don't think they're very good. And I think Texas will finish them off here in this game in those hideous camouflage uniforms. But as we talk about the other teams that are around, and I want to talk about tonight's game, I also don't think Oklahoma is great. But it's amazing that Oklahoma is going to play in a winner's bracket game in the College World Series today. starting a freshman in game 1 of the College World Series on Saturday, and Cord Rager was brilliant. And they're going to start another one tonight in Xander Mercurius. And Xander Mercurius is kind of a come lately for them. Like LJ Mercurius, his brother, was their ace early in the season. He carved up LSU at the box. Cam Johnson started the first game, couldn't throw it over the plate, and then so they went to Mercurius in game 2, and he was great, and Oklahoma ended up winning that game. But he's been the better Mercurius, and now the younger Mercurius is going to pitch. And so having a second straight freshman starter in the College World Series is not advisable. And that's what Oklahoma is going to do. And Georgia is going to go with Caden Aoki, who, if you watch him pitch tonight, it's interesting because he's one of the few really effective college pitchers that doesn't throw hard. You're going to see a lot of 89s from him tonight. But Georgia offensively is just really, really, really good. And they hit the ball hard a lot. And I think as the weather continues to change, when you find those days that are conducive to hitting, which we've seen a little bit of in the afternoon days, I think they're going to hit a ton. And you know that Daniel Jackson's going to hit, and you know that Trey Phelps is going to hit, and they're just a lot to deal with. And it feels like we're on a collision course for Georgia and North Carolina, which you could absolutely sign me up for. But it's something I talked about in the first hour. It's starting pitching that is won the day. And Ole Miss is going home because their starting pitching faltered. Alabama's starting pitching was not nearly good enough to compete with Cord Rager on Saturday. And Alabama's starter made it all of 3 innings, not even 3 innings today, and they've given up 7 runs. It's the starting pitching that's got to get done. And LSU, as I look at them right now, is counting on the returners. And this goes back to the discussion we just had about football. When you look at Jay Johnson and you realize what's coming next season, you have to decide where you're going to spend your money. You probably, and I say probably because until proven otherwise, I'll think this, but I realize that I don't know exactly how much money LSU has. Probably LSU can't pay everybody. And so you have the makings of a pitching staff on your roster. You have Kason Evans, William Schmidt, Cooper Moore, Marcos Paz, Reagan Ricken. You have Ethan Plog, potentially Santiago Garcia, Danny Lockenmeyer. Like, you've got some guys, and that's not counting what you expect to get from your freshman class, which is deep and talented, and they can't draft everybody. Offensively, you have Braun, Cerna, Aaron Beatty, and then Ruckert and Patrick. Ruckert and Patrick are completely unproven at this level. They played some at unproven. You got 3 guys. So what are you going to do to overhaul that roster? Are you going to count on Ruckert, Patrick, Cerna, Aaron Beatty, Braun, and freshmen to be your offense? And then, while you're paying Evans, Moore, and Schmidt, and Paz and Ricken, go pay more guys out of the transfer portal, 3 more, and spend all your money on pitching, and then just keep your guys in-house and hope 3 freshmen come through and are awesome, and Braun develops, and Ruckert develops, and Patrick develops? Or are you going to keep the guys in-house financially on the pitching side, develop them, add 1 guy to the mix, and then go make sure your offense is as good as it can be? I mean, in your effort to be balanced, it's probably an easier path to go get offensive players and hope your pitching grows up. I just told you pitching is the most important thing. I told you entering the portal, they better go get a guy that could be your Friday night starter. And they may have with Hood. He could be it. Evans could be it. Schmidt could be it. I would be surprised if Cooper Moore was. I'd be surprised if Marcos Paz was. But this is probably the smartest way for Jay Johnson to go about this. I have 6 guys that I think can be good pitchers. I only have half a lineup. I need to fill out the rest of the lineup. I need the pitchers to grow up. I need a couple of freshmen to come in and help. I need a Kason Evans out of this class to help. And that happens. Alex Lang happened. Kevin Gausman happened. Aaron Nola happened. There are freshmen that can help. You got to make sure that you get a couple of them through the draft. There are freshmen that can help. I'm anxious about LSU's pitching, but at the same time, I understand Jay Johnson's roadmap. I understand why he thought the best way to go spend money was to get proven veteran hitters, to get back to what you were trying to do offensively, make sure that those guys are out there for 56 games. You got to count on some growing up for your pitching staff, and I'll go supplement it with one or maybe two more guys. The majority of LSU's transfer money has been spent on offense. I just told you I think pitching's the most important thing, but you do have to field that offense. And Georgia's pretty ferocious offensively, and they've been the most consistent team in the country. So it's a bit of a, I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth here, but you're hearing me flesh it out in real time. I think they needed pitching upgrades and still do. There are not great starting pitching options in the portal. Suchi from UConn may be the best of the lot. But what you have is now a fortified offense and real talent that Nate Yeske's going to have to get the best out of. And I know, I can hear y'all say, well, hey, Yeske should have been fired. You weren't saying that on the Omaha podium last year. This year was bad. He did a bad job this year. The pitchers did a bad job this year. The catchers did a bad job this year. The entire pitching operation did a bad job this year. That doesn't mean they have to do a bad job next year. Now you're going to have to get guys that did a bad job this year to do a better job next year. And I said they need to go get some new dudes. I'm not convinced they're done getting pitchers in the portal. They need to make that happen, and we'll see what the draft yields. But this roadmap that Jay Johnson has carved out, based on what I'm watching in Omaha, probably makes sense, but it does make me a little bit nervous. Because the alternative here is telling Kason Evans, William Schmidt, Cooper Moore to walk. Well, that ain't happening, okay? That's not going to happen. That would be foolish. You just need them to be better. And I think it's realistic to suggest they can be better. They're going to sit most of this summer, work on some things mechanically. They're not logging a bunch of innings in the Cape Cod League or Northwoods League. They're not pitched for Team USA. You've got to get some development out of those guys. This is an interesting way to go about it. Probably not what I would envisioned in late May. But I do understand where Jay Johnson's going with this. We'll see if it pays off. The offense is going to be really good. I have very little doubt about that. The pitching I will question until early April of next year. You've got 10 more months of me questioning pitching until I've got a legitimate SEC sample size, not a non-conference sample size, and a legitimate SEC sample size that suggests LSU has got this figured out from a pitching perspective. And maybe it's Landon Hood at the top, Kason Evans is a 2, William Schmidt is a 3, and you know, Cooper Moore and Marcos Paz as key bullpen guys. We'll see. I'd like another left-hander. We'll see. Our Monday show is brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. GuaranteeHealth.com is the website, GuaranteeHealth.com. They are guiding healthcare forward at Guarantee Health Solutions. What they do there, they are a partner of those in the healthcare industry, making sure that you are as hospitable and as patient-friendly as possible. It's not something that every healthcare operation takes into consideration, but they are operational experts at Guarantee Health Solutions. What does your website look like? How does it function? They can help you with that. How is your marketing being implemented? Are you using social media? Are you using digital advertising? Are you using traditional advertising? They can help you with that. They make sure that when your patient walks in the front door, that experience is a positive one. Because oftentimes it's not. If you need expansion advice to understand where you need to be, what location works best for you, they can help you with that. They've taken a net promoter score of a recent partner from 65 to 90 in 3 months. It's full service, it's 24/7, and they're a partner of yours in the healthcare space. So if you are in that space, whether you're an urgent care facility, you're a hospital, you're a dental practice, private practice, whatever the case may be, they can help you at Guarantee Health Solutions in making sure your patient experience is a positive one. Guarantee Health Solutions, find them online, GuaranteeHealth.com, GuaranteeHealth.com. Again, it's 7-2. Texas now in the batter's box in the bottom of the fourth inning. They got the leadoff man on. Again, a good crowd there at Charles Schwab Field. I want to get you caught up on those scores. Got lawsuits going on with Texas Tech. We've got NBA draft news. Certainly got take it or leave it. We got a lot to get to. Come back and close out the show with us. Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet, GMC, FabryChevrolet.com, FabryChevrolet.com. Summer's here. It's road trip season. You may be going to the beach. Got to pack up all that gear. Got to pack up all those kids. You might need a new ride for that. And if that's the case, get on by Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Got an incredible inventory of new as well as pre-owned SUVs like the Chevy Suburban, like the Chevy Tahoe. They've got your GMC Yukon. They've got the Denali as well. It's all there, new or used. They also got amazing deals on trucks. Looking for a 2026 Silverado, 0% APR financing for 36 months. Get on by before the end of June. You can get that. Got a 2026 GMC Sierra 1500, 2.6% financing for 72 months right there at Fabry Chevrolet GMC. If you're looking for a Chevy Trax, maybe a Trailblazer, as low as $30,000, you can drive one today. Go by and see them. Highway 61 in St. Francisville or online at FabryChevrolet.com.
I've been in banking for over 35 years. I usually start about 7:30 in the morning, and I usually leave somewhere around 5, or if customers need me to meet them at their house or their business places, I don't mind going after hours. I have done churches, subdivisions, retail centers, hospitals, and nursing homes. And that's why we chose to live in this community, because of the values First American Bank has, that I can serve my community and my customers.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kevin McCarthy and the team at the Spine Center of Louisiana. Dr. McCarthy doesn't just treat symptoms. He gets to the root of the problem. From advanced injection therapy to minimally invasive surgery, they've got the expertise to get you back in the game. With 5 locations across Louisiana, including right here in Baton Rouge, quality care is close to home. Call the Spine Center of Louisiana or visit SpineCenterLA.com.
As a business owner, you're always focused on how you can improve the bottom line. Well, when was the last time you shopped your insurance coverage? Insurance Network of Louisiana can help. If you're a business owner, let my friends at Insurance Network of Louisiana see if they can find you better coverage for less money. They always offer exceptional customer service and partner with only the best providers. So check them out online today at lainsurance.net.
Eagle 98.1, the rock station.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Guarantee Health Solutions, guiding healthcare forward. GuaranteeHealth.com.
Failure happens to us all, but it's how champions evolve. The only thing that matters from a loss is if you get back up when you fall. You gotta get up.
Wrapping things up here. Been a fun Monday here. Talked a lot of things. LSU, Nabs, Jason Wax out of the transfer portal. We discussed that at the top of the show. Best and worst case scenarios for the Saints offense. We did that at the top of hour number 2. LSU football flipped a Cal offensive lineman in the recruiting ranks. We discussed a little bit of that. If you're looking for LSU content, you can always find ours at Hunt on LSU. That's the YouTube channel. You can find it wherever you find your podcast as well. Hunt on Saints for all our Saints coverage. You can check that out. Again, same place as YouTube or wherever you find your podcast. Also talked a little bit about the World Cup. Tunisia fired their coach after losing one game. They got 2 more to go. Fired their coach. I just think soccer's crazy. Just crazy people all over the place when it comes to soccer. And I just found out that we don't play again until Friday, a week between games in the World Cup. I did not know that either. But there's a lot of things I don't know about soccer, so I guess I'll kind of learn as the World Cup goes on. But apparently we did pretty well over the weekend, so that's a good thing, I guess. I was kind of locked into the College World Series, and that makes a lot of people roll their eyes, but that's okay. I like the College World Series, and I'm excited to watch tonight's game, which we'll talk about a little bit later on in Take It or Leave It.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Today's hottest stories in sports, news, and sometimes even Hunt's life. The question is, will he take them or leave them?
Just take it. All right, so as you know, the New York Knicks have won the NBA Finals for the first time in 53 years on Saturday night. However, their celebration of this was pretty chaotic in the city. As tens of thousands filled the streets, there were smashing of windshields, climbing on top of buses and cars. Some fires started, even shots were fired. In all, a total of 63 people were arrested with charges including assault of police and possession of weaponry. Was this expected celebration of the fans in New York after the win? Take it or leave it?
I'll take it. And look, if you were going to tell me after the Knicks win the championship that only 63 people would be arrested, I think that's a pretty low number in Manhattan.
I think if you put it like an over-under number on it, I would have said
400.
Sure.
I mean, Manhattan is not exactly uptown New Orleans, okay? You're talking about just millions of people jammed into very tight quarters. As I said last week, you cannot expect a bunch of drunk people to make awesome decisions when being massed in by the tens of thousands. It doesn't happen in Tiger Stadium. Not going to happen in the streets of Manhattan. I would like to focus on the really cool things, like when they were singing the New York song.
Yeah, some of that stuff is iconic.
Like, some of it was incredible, and it would only happen there in New York, in Manhattan. It was awesome. It was cool to see the videos people took just outside their apartment windows as the final sound went off, and like people were just screaming in the streets. Like, that's cool stuff. That's the stuff that really only sports can do. Yeah, okay, 63 people got arrested. Some morons set some stuff on fire.
Yeah.
That's going to happen. As long as you're not reporting anyone died, I'm okay with that. I think that's just to be expected, and it's just the way people are going to act, especially when you win it on a weekend night when everybody's been drinking at that late. It's just the way it's going to go.
I just think it would have been better if they finished in New York rather than San Antonio.
Yeah, it's just part of it. Cubs finished in Cleveland, too. It's just kind of the way it sometimes shakes out.
Right. All right, so Friday night, ahead of West Virginia's first game, Pat McAfee, a West Virginia alum, made it known on his show that he would be going to the World Series in the stop by Rocco's to buy some Jello shots. When he arrived, he had no idea how it worked, so he asked the general manager if he could write a check. The manager says, "Yeah, no, your checks would probably bounce, not in a joking matter." So following this experience, he goes to bash Rocco's, telling a story on his show. Does this negatively impact Rocco's moving forward? Take it or leave it.
I'll leave it. Like, people on Twitter are saying that. If you go to the College World Series, which all Rocco's business does, you're walking by the stadium. Rocco's is literally right there. It's the closest bar to the stadium. So they're going to make a lot of money no matter what. I don't think you're going to get a lot of people that are super cranky about this unless they personally have a bad experience.
Yeah.
I don't think Gordon McKernan's going to talk super negatively about Rocco's. I think that they're going to continue to do big business. I realize that they're getting bad publicity for the McAfee thing, and I don't care about the Rocco's Jello shot thing. Like, I go to 12 other places in Omaha before I go to Rocco's. I've set foot in Rocco's exactly one time. So it's not necessarily my favorite place to go, but they're going to be just fine. They're going to sell a bunch of Jello shots. They're going to make a ton of money. They're going to donate a bunch of money to food banks. And I'm bummed out that they treated McAfee like that, because I just don't want any business to treat anyone like that. Like, talk to the person who's asking about something instead of being a jerk. I don't think he's be a jerk ever, but I don't think it's going to be a big deal.
All right, so let's see, last one. Hold on one sec. All right, so Oklahoma is having somewhat of a Cinderella run in the College World Series, going undefeated so far and shutting out Bama 9-0 on Saturday. Despite having a mediocre regular season at best, they are definitely heading in the right direction. Are looking hotter than ever at this point. Tonight they play Georgia, who is a favorite to win it all. Are you buying the momentum from Oklahoma to possibly beat Georgia? Take it or leave it.
Leave it, because I don't think Oklahoma's very good. I think Cord Rager threw it great against a mediocre Alabama team. And I think Oklahoma did an amazing thing going to Georgia Tech and winning that regional. And Georgia Tech just didn't keep up, and their arms weren't very good. I still hold out the fact, I believe, and I say this all the time, I think 56 games is a more representative sample size of who you are as opposed to 4. And right now you're riding an insane heater from Oklahoma that we've seen from some teams. We've seen Kent State make it to Omaha. We've seen Murray State make it to Omaha. Mm-hmm. We've seen Stony Brook make it to Omaha. Now we've seen Coastal Carolina go do the whole thing.
Yep.
And so that Coastal Carolina team did not have great pitching. The team LSU played last year was legit because they had 2 really good pitchers. This Oklahoma team, I don't believe has that type of pitching. I think Rager did a really nice job on Saturday. I think their offense is really average, and I think they looked good against a mediocre Alabama staff. I think that they will get exposed tonight for a non-upper echelon team. I think Skip Johnson's great.
Yep.
I think that they've got some really good stories on that team. I mean, Dayton LeChance hitting that home run on one leg was pretty sick. For those that missed it, he rolled his ankle really bad on second base and couldn't run. They still let him stay in the game and hit, and he hit a towering blast out of the ballpark and then gimped around the bases like Kirk Gibson. So there's some cool stories for it, and I'm not pulling against Oklahoma at all. I just don't think they're a great team. So I think they'll get exposed to them.
That is it for Take It or Leave It.
All right, that's it for Take It or Leave It here on this Monday. Brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Online at GuaranteeHealth.com, GuaranteeHealth.com. Tomorrow, we'll talk to Glenn West about LSU baseball in the transfer portal. We'll talk to Sharif Ishak about the New Orleans Saints and how they look moving into a mandatory minicamp this week. We will we'll discuss what's left for LSU in the baseball transfer portal. We will discuss LSU's second opponent of the football season in Louisiana Tech. And we'll see what's going on in Omaha. So lots to do on tomorrow's show. Very much looking forward to that. If you missed any of today's show, catch it on demand wherever you find your sound. Just search Hunt Palmer Show. We always appreciate that. Matt's back in the saddle. He's in the captain's chair. He'll drive you home from 3 to 6. We're back tomorrow. Have a safe Monday. It's the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge. SwingEasyGCBR.com is that website. Awesome spot to go and play a little bit of golf simulators. Don't care if it's been raining all day. Courses are wet. Driving ranges are wet. You can't go outside and play golf. You can go to Swing Easy Golf Club in a climate-controlled area and work on your game. U.S. Opens this week. Want to play Shinnecock? They got it on Swing Easy Golf Club's simulator. Go by and test yourself, sort of, where the pros will be tested coming up this week in upstate, in New York. It's going to be an awesome tournament, and it's an awesome spot to go play some golf over at Swing Easy. They're on Segan at Perkins, You can go on by yourself. Play on that simulator. You can go with a group. I told you, last week I went in there on Monday, and I was going to play 9 holes in about 25 minutes. You can play 18 in an hour by yourself. No more 5-hour golf rounds fighting the weather. Go to Swing Easy Golf Club. You can work on your game on the driving range setting as well. It's Swing Easy Golf Club, Segan at Perkins, online, SwingEasyGCBR.com.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home, with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at DecisionCriticalBR.com and give us a call today to get started.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files,